Hello everyone and welcome to Rad Chat Live at UKIO. My name is Norman Jorg Anderson and I'm joined by fellow host Joe McNamara.
Hi everyone!
So we've got two lovely guests, research royalty. Do you like to introduce yourself please?
Hi guys, I'm Amanda Webster. I am a therapeutic radiographer. Half of my week I am doing my PhD at UCL. The other half of my week I work as a research and development specialist in UCLH, and a teeny tiny part of my role is working for RTTQA, so the Radiotherapy Trials Quality Assurance Team.
And my name is Lizzie. I currently work as a therapeutic radiographer at the Royal Marsden in Surrey. I'm currently a treatment superintendent, but I've done research for a little while now, and I definitely built that into my new role and have kept in and out of things while I've been there, so it's quite nice to keep my hands on a clinical and research perspective.
So you both have absolutely amazing roles. How would someone thinking about going into research prepare themselves adequately, do you think?
Do you want to take it or will I?
This is so funny because when I went for my first research role, the person I actually asked about was Amanda.
Okay, what do you want me to take it?
Well, I think it's on the scheme of some research roles come in that you either have to split your time into a clinical and research perspective, or maybe you go full-time into research. There's not many where you can build it into your role. And because of that, you don't have a lot of sort of experience within departments to sort of figure out how does that look like, how does it work, what skills do I have. So I think it's really important to, when you think about going into research, is just to network and ask your peers, ask your mentors, get in touch with centres that do have sort of a very well-built research, sort of in research partnership or integrity within their structure, because you learn so much. Research is so different to what you expect it to be. So I thought, like, I'm a numbers girl, hence why I went into a science sort of background, but actually all of my research has come from a qualitative perspective, and I've really, really enjoyed that, but that was something I just didn't even know I would be able to do. So I think it's really important to sort of, if you're into research, get in touch with people that are in research and just ask questions, ask their experience, and I mean that's what I did, and that's what I encourage now.
Yeah, I think there's no clear pathway for research. So as Lizzie's saying, you do need to reach out, and what I have found is trials teams, research teams, everyone is actually really approachable. I know it can seem scary, oh, I don't want to go near these kind of big groups, but actually everyone is really helpful. And so there's that side of it. I think another component is thinking about, can I do an audit? Can I do a service evaluation? And start to build up those skills. Is there something I need to improve in the patient pathway, and can I research that alongside it? Can I use a proper validated patient questionnaire? There's actually a lot of accessible research activities that we can undertake already as therapeutic radiographers without even being in a research role. And I would just say research is not a special topic. It's not a million miles away. And start to network, start to reach out, but also start to look at your own practice. Is there something that's really annoying you and you think could be done better? Well, you can improve that through research. And then what that will enable you to is either start to build research into your role if you're fortunate enough, or if a research specific role comes up, then you can show on your profile, oh, well, I've actually been engaging with these groups, and I've also been undertaking this evaluation, and I've presented it at UKIO or some of our national and international conferences, and then you have a profile that looks suitable for such a role. So I would say there's lots you can do, and don't be put off. It is accessible.
And there's something there about just starting. There's always something that will annoy you, or you're wondering, why is it done that way? Surely it can be done better. And actually starting there, normally with an audit or a service evaluation, that is really quite a quick and easy thing to get up off the ground. And again, you can reach out to sort of be like to say, this is my proposal, where would you go? But it is just getting going, and like you said, sometimes it's taking that first step and that jump, and it can be quite scary. But if there is something that's going on in your department, just ask to get involved, just ask to observe, because you learn so much, and then you can build up your skills, and like Amanda says, build that into your profile network.
yeah, some of it is also taking that initiative. Like, research isn't going to come to you. You do have to seek it out at times and be willing to get things wrong so that you learn the process and you keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely, yes.
So Lizzie, you have come to UKIO with a bit of a pitch.
With my pitch, the return of my pitch.
Can you tell us about it?
So last year I pitched my project for some financial benefit, which was a sum of money donated by UKIO and the RSC. Really, and what I pitched that money for was to fund my time, just to give me a little bit more goes into the pot to help pay my wage and pay the time that I could be able to do this. And it was really frightening doing the pitch last year, but it was because I'd never done a pitch. And you only get 5 minutes, and 5 minutes goes very, very quickly, even with some of the talks very fast. But I was lucky enough to be one of the winning participants, and then it says it in my presentation that I got this money, and then I was on the train home very proud of myself, which is rare, and I was like, I've done it, and then I was like, oh no, I've got to do it now. And I always was going to undertake this research, but there was that added pressure of being like, you pitched this and you won some money, so go and do it. So I'm still in the write-up phase, which is, again, learning from your mistakes. I created a timeline that I don't know if anybody looked over it to be like, that's reasonable, because I forgot my own annual leave, which I had 2 very big chunks of it. Within that, I'd moved jobs. I forgot to factor in that I'm still in the middle of my master's. I forgot to factor in that, in fact, last time I was at UKIO, my nephew was born. I, love seeing him, and all of my other friends had babies, and I love seeing them. I forgot to factor in my own life outside of radiotherapy. So I'm still in the write-up phase, but I've had the honour of presenting the piece of work at Estro as a proper paper, and I'm very proud of that because it is qualitative research about patient experience, which does go under the radar because it's not considered big data, but it's very, very important data. And Amanda and I just sat in a wonderful patient voice seminar here, and it just really reiterates the importance of investigating that patient experience. It really sort of brings it home.
Was that with the amazing Jono?
It was.
Sarah Jane?
Yeah.
Absolutely big fans.
Oh, absolutely incredible people. So inspiring. So I've got 20 minutes to talk really about what I've learned, and this was the first time I was really like a head researcher, and I did all of the data analysis myself. So there's lots of things that I wish I'd, one, that increased the timeline, and two, just given some time for myself. And not everything has to be done in a rush. It will get done, just in the right performance. But I'm really proud of this piece of work, and I think it's really important, and I'm looking forward to what I can do in the next steps. And I think
What was it?
Oh, sorry. I didn't do that. So
I'm intrigued.
So I'm basically looking at where we're moving to shorter fractionations of radiotherapy treatments, combined with the increasing number of patients that we have coming through. There's a real need to make sure that if you're only going to be in the department for 5 to 10 sessions, you should have the same experience for those that are coming in for longer sessions. You should still have the same access to personalised healthcare, personalised outcomes, real personalised advice. And it's really hard to do that with shorter fractionation, because I don't know my patients that well, because I've only got them there for that short amount of time. So
I think Jono actually hit the nail on the head.
Did.
He was like, in Macmillan we get 6 sessions, right? And we know why, because of financial constraints, etc. And I thought to myself, gosh, so many fractionations of radiotherapy are much shorter than 6 fractionations these days, and we are only able to kind of start to tap into our patient. And I think it's a big thing. I think your work is so important, because I think it's a big thing for the patient, and I don't want to speak for them, and I'm trying to highlight, Jono really highlighted it much better than I can, but he's highlighting it is something for them when you go down to smaller numbers. But I also think for us as professionals, we get a lot of job satisfaction from being there and building rapport and that time. And even though treatment times are, we're under constraints of time pressure, at least if you're like, oh well, I've got 20 treatments to, you can build it up. And I think it's a big thing for us as therapeutic radiographers. We often we go for therapeutic radiographer over diagnostic so that we can spend more time with patients. So it is a shifting landscape, so I think you are scratching the surface
Starting
of a
the top of
very
it, yeah.
important topic.
And could it be that potentially this could be the evidence-based research that we need to get rehabilitation therapeutic radiographers?
Like
in
Joe's
the
seen my
pathway?
results.
Like literally, I would want that role. I want this evidence to help produce those roles, because I think it's so important, and we are in a very privileged position, because I know there are clinical nurse specialists within that pathway, and I absolutely appreciate all that they do. But I do think that radiotherapy and oncology is so specific and it's so personalised for each patient. You can't just give generic rehabilitation advice.
Absolutely, like I totally agree, and that is a few things that have come up from my findings, is that there are certain time points that we really need to, change up and really rethink the way that when and how we give information to these patients. And there's so much evidence of prehabilitation, and the same thing as well for at the other end of the spectrum for living with and beyond, that final radiotherapy fraction, and being so long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen. It is that, and that's so evidence for that abandonment feeling. They're just two areas that I think really need to be focused on, and there's some people doing some wonderful work out there, and I'm just hoping that when I write this up I can get that in, and then we'll see what happens.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because everyone keeps talking about open access follow-up, and that's what this is if you have a problem, you call us, but patients don't want to call us because they don't want to bother us, we're too busy, etc. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Exactly as you said, I wouldn't have got into this profession if I was only going to see patients for 10 minutes, that's it.
Yeah. We're caring individuals, compassionate.
No disrespect to the diagnostic guys, obviously.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us on the podcast, and please do check out previous episodes with both of them. We will link with them with the show notes, and good luck for your pitch. Hopefully next UKIO you'll be
I'll have more to present. Oh, it's so exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you.